In and around Oklahoma City, tornado warnings are in place for the Perry and Watauga areas. The National Weather Service says there have been 2 tornadoes forming around the Mulhall and Orlando areas. People are being warned to take shelter immediately. The White House is telling former White House counsel Don McGahn not to testify before the House Judiciary Committee tomorrow.
The Democratic-led panel subpoenaed McGahn to testify about the final report from special counsel Robert Mueller. The White House directive followed an opinion from the Justice Department that McGahn cannot be forced to testify. He has not worked at the White House since last October. McGahn could be held in contempt of Congress if he does not show up. Tom Roberts, NBC News Radio.
A young Guatemalan national is dead after being found unresponsive at a South Texas U.S. Border Patrol station. Customs and Border Protection says the 16-year-old was discovered dead this morning during a welfare check. Brian Shook, NBC News Radio.
No matter if the market is up or the market is down, Phil Grandy and his Phil's Gang members prepared for market volatility and making profits.
Cisco in April, we're up 4%. We just got in that in April. Lockheed Martin, we're up now 7%. Facebook, we bought April 9th, we're up 10%. Morgan Stanley, we're up 11%. WLL, we bought April 1st, we're up 19%. And let's take this year, the Spiders, the S&P 500, we are up 16%. Apple, we're up 26%. Railroad, CSX, we're up 17%. And at the end of the day, when the market keeps going up and up and up, and you're in that market, you're never out in time. You ride it all the way back down, especially with your 401ks. Let's change that today. 877-600-GANG, 877-600-GANG. Let's change it today.
Don't wait. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. 877-600-4264.
It's time to say see you later, alligator, to embarrassing and troublesome issues with your skin, nails, and hair with all-natural Cayman alligator oil. Cayman oil is locally made, right in Louisiana, where people have been using alligator oil for centuries to treat all kinds of ailments. A drop a day of Cayman oil can help you say, see you later, alligator, to athlete's foot, nail fungus, acne, eczema, rashes, dry skin, cuts, infections, MRSA, scars, burns, sunburns, and even ingrown hair and dandruff. If you or someone you know is tired of suffering with any of these skin, nail, and hair troubles, you need to visit mycayman.com to learn more about 100% natural, non-toxic, hypoallergenic Cayman oil and get a bottle today. Say, see you later, alligator, with Cayman alligator oil at mycayman.com. That's myCaimon.com. mycayman.com.
For several years, KCAA has been marketing the Youngevity brand of nutritional and personal care products. Our experience with Youngevity has been 100% positive, so we are pleased to recommend them to you. Regarding nutritional supplements, we recommend Pollen Burst in the berry flavor and Tangy Tangerine 2.0 in the tablet form. For regularity issues, we recommend 3-Day Cleanse, and for personal care, we recommend Morning Hydration Cream. You can shop online for Youngevity at www.kcaateam.com, or you can order by phone by calling 800-982-3197 and tell customer support that you are part of the KCAA team. Youngevity is an American company based in San Diego. Call Youngevity at 800-982-3197 and ask about monthly auto ship that allows you to buy Youngevity products at wholesale prices. That number again, 800-982-3197.
Miss your favorite show? Download the podcast at kcaaradio.com.
Heat winds from stream. I know that's a little slower version of the Route 66, but we're trying to make it past the YouTube censorship. All right, well, this is Robert Porter with the I Love San Bernardino County radio show. Well, 106.5 FM, 102.3 FM, 1050 AM. Well, we will talk politics, culture, and history. And I'm having fun today, Al Kelly. You
Right on, Robert Porter.
Woo! And in a little bit, I'll have one of my cool childhood high school buddies, Victoria Porter, or Victoria Lee, coming on the show here. And she's a poet and an artist and an all-around inspiration online. So we'll have her on the show and try to pick her brain a little bit, and maybe we'll get a few of her lovely memories of San Bernardino. I think she's currently living over there she was in Milwaukee, and now she's in Vegas. So she'll be pretty cool, and I'll tell you a little bit about that later.
Super cold or super hot.
Right. And today we're kind of left the show kind of open. I was hoping Scott Olson would make it today, but not.
Song, where are you? Scott, where are you?
Yeah, we're chilling
Heidi,
here.
where are you?
We're going to be just going over whatever we wish today. And I do have some really cool history here, Mr. Kelly.
Improvisation.
You know, I like to be a professor with our history, and this piece actually, it gives me hope, right? These are some of our ancestors, but it shows that, sometimes people give San Bernardino and San Bernardino County a bad name. And I think it has to do with public relations. Because what I try to do on the I Love San Bernardino County, take that back. I Love San Bernardino group on Facebook with 75,000 members. What I try to do there is to show the whole county and some of the surrounding areas. And if you keep up with the posts as I do them, you'll see that there's just as many murders and unfortunate accidents for pedestrians and great things like symphonies and all around us. We're not really that different. Maybe we're a little poorer here in San Bernardino City, but we're a lot alike Redlands, Highland, Colton, Fontana, Rialto. In fact, we share a common history, and we're the same people. We all we don't stay in those areas. We travel across these city lines and into the county and use services and visit different places. And if San Bernardino City would do a better job, and our county in general would do a better job at getting our name out there for tourism. And I know it's like, why would people want to come to San Bernardino? No, that's not how you have to think. You should think, wow, we have an incredible paragliding school in San Bernardino. Or we're the gateway to our mountain and desert communities, where we can have people flying in here.
Out of the mountains, out of the beach. Whoa.
So these positive things have to do with promotion. Now, when you do promote something, you don't want somebody who others might perceive as super negative doing it, because it will take away from the value of that. So,
Neil Derry.
Where'd you get coming out of nowhere? Well, anyways, I would hope that someone who is promoting San Bernardino, and if they got the opportunity, would be more positive and try to at least be PR when you're dealing with the public on Facebook and stuff, and not go negative. Try to go as positive as possible.
You mean not like the mayor of Yucaipa and his ilk that say get rid of every minority? That's probably not too successful.
Yeah, sometimes I feel that if you're representing my tax dollars, or in the future, or a possibility of it, you should look kind of polished a little bit, right? If you're trying to do the PR for our area.
Like Redlands is doing, and San Bernardino with the help of Robert and I Love San Bernardino, changing the attitude.
And actually, not just me. We are the change with Luis Ojeda. All the neighborhood associations.
Right on.
Every single church in our area does good things for our community.
Yes.
Senior centers, schools, charter schools and regular schools.
Yeah, charter schools. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, but there's a place for everything. I think as long as we realize we're a community and we use this promotion for positive and keep doing more and more,
Yeah.
the negative will always be there.
Yes.
You can't get rid of it. I used to try to do that. I used to try to keep every negative post off I Love San Bernardino. I don't know if any of you know that. Most people don't because they came after the fact that I realized that does not work.
What's the jazz song?
Yeah.
Accentuate the positive, and
Yeah.
what the hell's the other thing?
Well, just know the negative, right? Just
Yeah.
know it exists.
Know it's there, yep.
But also know that it's in Redlands.
Yes.
Also know it's in Colton. It's in L.A. It's in Las Vegas. It's all over. So
Especially in Ukaipa.
it just feels like sometimes negative stuff gets put on San Bernardino City.
Yes.
And it doesn't deserve it.
Wrongly, yeah.
But maybe this could be why. Now, San Bernardino, after the Latter-day Saints, what is Latter-day
You got
Saints?
it, yes.
The
The
Latter-day
Mormons,
Saints. Okay.
yes.
No, they don't want that term anymore.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, all right. But I guess if it's historical,
Yeah.
the Mormons that came here, they had to go back. They got called back. And at that time, a lot of the land in San Bernardino was sold very for low cost,
Yeah.
right? And became like anyone could come
Like
and
the
buy
forest,
land,
yeah.
right? So it came like a red light district that kind of stayed and fluttered all the way into modern times, right?
I know where this red light district's in Ukaipa. Every massage parlor. You got that there?
Well, even Norton Air Force Base at a certain time had problems with venereal diseases and prostitution with their soldiers.
But
So,
that was the radioactive aliens they got from Area 51 that they dumped there.
well, I don't know about that, but I do know that Norton was very involved in getting rid of that like red light aspect because they wanted to keep the soldiers healthy and not going to the prostitutes were.
Wow.
But I think that's kind of something that young soldiers have done all across the world.
Oh, yeah.
For a long time. My dad even mentioned stories about that in Vietnam. But
Yeah.
unfortunate how that it ends up in war zones like that, huh?
Yeah.
Probably poverty. Oh man.
Definitely.
But anyway, so there's
Or rednecks.
so it kind of got a bad name there, right?
Cows run fast in Vietnam.
And let's go right here to the 1860s.
Okay.
Right? We got a wild Al Kelly today. But in the 1860s, it says this book I'm reading for, by the way, is San Bernardino Bicentennial, 1810 to 2010 was kind of a. I mean, San Bernardino really wasn't. It wasn't founded 1810.
No, I know.
Yeah, but kind of
Not
a little bit.
like my city of Pawtucket, Rhode Island. It's 400 years old.
Oh,
Well, that's another point.
that is pretty old, but
It is.
But this is by John Howard Weeks, and he did put an excellent book here together.
Yeah.
And, Mr. Morris was involved in this, former Mayor Morris, and also Rabbi Cohn.
So it's got a lot of Democrat sway in it.
No, what it has is a lot of
Woo!
a lot of people that really care about San Bernardino's history. So that's
Morris
why-
does?
Yeah, yes, they actually they care a great deal about our history, and
Go Hillary!
And I'll give them those props right there. We'll give them those props.
All right.
But I'm gonna do a little reading here. I know it's not as fun as Al Kelly's little little
that's
heckles there, but all right. City's youth, a period of instability. San Bernardino in the 1860s crawled with gunslingers, swindlers, secessionists, and anarchists.
Whoa.
There were riots and gunfights in the streets. There were lynch mobs and public hangings.
Whoa.
The intersection of 3rd and D Streets was called Whiskey Point because there were saloons on all 4 corners. Chinatown, near today's Meadowbrook Park, was full of opium parlors and gambling pits.
Wow.
Bull and bear fights were staged for sport, and poor bears, and wagering
Bring
near
back the
the
Grizzlies.
corner of 2nd and East Streets. San Bernardino volunteer police force disbanded in 1862, and nobody wanted the job of San Bernardino County Sheriff either. 7 men served short stints between 1860 and 1863. The city actually disincorporated for a few years, 1863 through 1869, and that's why we were refounded later. That's why we refounded. During the American Civil War years of that decade, the Union Army became convinced that the lawless populace of San Bernardino represented a greater threat to its western supply routes than hostile Native Americans.
They still do. Go to Yucaipa.
In 1861, Major James X. Carleton visited the town in civilian guise. In a civilian disguise, and reported that it was full of adroit horse thieves and unprincipled, desperate men with only a very few respectable Americans.
Whoa, Lou Desmond.
So what we're trying to show here is that San Bernardino in the past has been kind of rough
edge to it.
around the edges.
Bit, yeah.
But
seasoned.
But I promise you,
yeah,
if you look at Colton at the same time, or Los Angeles at the same time, there was probably similar things that happened right there in those areas too, right? So San Bernardino probably wasn't as lawless as it's portrayed here, and during this time, right this second, San Bernardino is not as lawless as it's portrayed online and in our newspapers.
That's because there's one policeman for every 2 citizens, right?
It's granted.
Bankrupt.
We have a rough life out there with violence.
Yes.
With thievery.
Right.
Having resources available to help the homeless and the drug addicts on the streets, right? That's why it's often perceived as those bad things. I always say, one negative thing will destroy 1,000 good things, right?
Exactly.
So you have 1,000 good things in San Bernardino, but you have one bad experience with a panhandler, and you start talking bad about our area.
Robert, can I ask you this?
Go, yes, sir.
Los Angeles has put $50 or $60 million toward homeless shelters. Anaheim, redneck Orange County, they've put aside $40 million. Why couldn't San Bernardino, be the center of that? I mean, because Yucaipa is never going to allow that. Redlands is never going to allow that. Loma Linda, there are facilities that are empty. There's 1 billion square feet of empty warehouses where you could have grown vegetables and fruit. So how about putting people in there? It's there.
So I think it's that, Al. I think it's that. And every single possible idea that you can come up with, because there's not one single thing that's going to cure the violence.
Exactly.
There's not a single thing that's going to cure the gang activity. There's not a single thing that's going to cure the homelessness. But if we have a whole bunch of people working together on this problem, and not just a whole bunch of people saying negative things all the time.
It's easy to get into that, though.
Yeah, like, for example, there'll be a post on I Love San Bernardino that says, sometimes people call out for help on there, which is okay,
definitely.
right?
Yeah, it is.
But sometimes people just want to talk bad about San Bernardino. And it starts, they'll say, where's the best place to go in San Bernardino at night? And then all of a sudden you get people with negative. They post it. They think they're funny. Well, guess what I do to them? Well, guess what I do, Al? You know what I do.
I know.
Delete block. Right? Wait a second. Oh my gosh, this guy, he's breaking his First Amendment rights. So this Robert Porter, he's the worst person in the world. He's blocking people because they could say whatever they want. No, they cannot. They choose to say whatever they want on that group where I happen to be in charge, and Facebook is not free speech, let me tell you.
Right.
And I have the ability to silence you. And if it's going to save San Bernardino, I'm going to silence you. Guess what? I don't care what you think.
And I know I've seen several, actually more than several posts, and, I know I can be a smart ass once in a while, but there's no reason to condone violence or hate speech or not I knocked the hell out of San Bernardino, but I taught here for over 20 years, and I met some of the most amazing kids in my life.
But for every negative thing that you know a positive thing you could counter it
Probably
with.
more than that, yeah.
And I notice online that when I punish someone, because that's what it is, what I'm doing, I'm punishing someone for talking bad about San Bernardino.
Time out.
Yeah. They eventually, at first, they're really mean about it.
Yeah.
Right? But eventually, you know what? They usually get it.
Yeah.
Right? It's about you doing it. You don't have to say that joke.
Right.
I didn't have to say, Sam, like we would joke about being the 187 capital of the world when I was growing up in the 90s. Was that right? That was very, very stupid of me. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Why was that stupid? Because I knew better. I knew better than to say bad things about from my hometown, but I chose to follow along with all those T-shirts and all that stuff. And did I help perpetuate this negative view of San Bernardino through the 90s? Partly, yes, I did.
Right.
So now I take responsibility and step up and choose to know the negative, post up the murder, post up the car that got broken into, or the hair in the pizza, or whatever it is, but also post up the symphony, post up the career day,
right?
Post up that the new Miss America got this far, or
you know what, Robert? Though, and I will give you credit. I mean, more than anybody I've ever known in San Bernardino, because after being here for almost 40 years, and coming from a town called Pawtucket that everybody calls the Bucket, that had a barroom and a church on every corner.
I've never said that.
No, I know. But the thing is that I think you have really tried to maintain some logical positiveness. Not necessarily hope, but this is the reality. What can you do with it to make it better? I applaud you for that.
So, I mean, I Love San Bernardino was to show the positive aspects. It was to help. It's also to help me get out our history in our area.
Which is amazing, actually.
It does so many different things. But when I started it, I didn't realize that you have to have the whole complete picture. Otherwise, it looks kind of skewed. So, like, if you have a page that just shows all the positive stuff, which I do on San Bernardino SOAR group.
Right.
Most people don't realize I run a totally separate group that's only positive things, except Al on there.
He hasn't blocked me recently.
Yeah. I've silenced.
I know.
I
can tell. He's like, Argh.
Yeah. It's just because sometimes it's easier for me to let people calm down a little bit before they get mad at me too. Like I'm just trying to be a gatekeeper and keep the page going respectably and not have people all get in like a negative. Because if a bunch of people get negative, it's like a riot almost.
Oh, no.
They all start doing it.
I got to tell you, Rob, just for what it's worth, I mean, when I came here 40 years ago after, graduating college and sick of shoveling snow, a couple of incentives I had. I wanted to meet, Joan Baez, who I had seen at several major festivals in my life. And I got to teach in the classroom in Redlands High School, where she'd been arrested protesting the Vietnam War back in 1967. And I wanted to see where Phil Oakes lived. He was the major anti-war, folk singer. What a beautiful song. And they had a street named for him in Rialto, and they've removed it. Phil Oakes. Beautiful. If you ever get a chance to listen to this man, and Joan Baez, of course, and several others, amazing.
So Al, if I'm done today promoting San Bernardino, then one goal of the page, I Love San Bernardino, was propaganda and a promotional aspect.
Right.
So if you share a post from I Love San Bernardino, or you say I Love San Bernardino, or I post up a post with I Love San Bernardino on it, right? Every time that happens, you see I Love San Bernardino.
Yeah.
I Love San Bernardino.
Yeah.
I Love San Bernardino. Now, you may associate it with the wildness of the page a little bit, but you're also associating it with the Arrowhead, with Robert Porter and the things I do, some of the stuff that other people do.
The Orange Show, history.
Whatever. Yeah, you start associating it with jokes, all these different things, like a community life. It's really, that's what it is. But even if I'm done, how many times have I written or put up "I love San Bernardino."
Right.
It could be over maybe 20 million.
And, it's kind of fascinating, but a lot of people don't know San Bernardino. I mean, to me, the first time I got here and I climbed to the peak, San Gorgonio, San Bernardino, I felt like I was climbing in the Himalayas. I mean, an alpine zone.
Oh,
I had crampons and ice axe. This is back in 1977, and I still wasn't prepared. I was kind of dumb because I was pretty good shape, and I said I could do this. But fascinating, San Bernardino Peak. That's where George Washington's grandkid in the 6th Battalion of the Army, I believe, went up to San Bernardino Peak, and they drew the first west to line meridian, which became baseline. I mean, fascinating. And then
there's some really cool history about when they reenacted the lighting of that.
A fire.
100 years later.
A fire at 10,400 feet, and it lined up with what? The one in San Antonio Canyon, right?
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, I mean, just having grown up as a Catholic, San Bernard, okay? Saint Bernardine. That's basically Fatima and Lourdes for all you, Catholics. There it is.
and we have a very ancient history with religion here in San Bernardino with Native Americans. Then on to when the Catholics came in with the Spanish and the Portuguese.
Right.
And then there's also one of the oldest Jewish cemeteries on the West Coast, right downtown San Bernardino, Pioneer Cemetery.
And your buddy Rabbi Hillel what is he, 200 years old?
Yeah, no. Rabbi Cohn is
Rabbi Cohn.
Cool guy. And,
beautiful man.
And I believe he protects that still.
Yeah, so many of my students that went to Serrano, I went to bar mitzvahs and all kind of celebrations. It was fantastic. Yeah.
So we had a free open half hour, and I really wanted to talk about history in the promotional aspect, and to show you that yes, in the past that we had the same. That's the same. Isn't that what I read? Is that not what happens nowadays? Except they don't call them lynchings or anything like that. They do it with a gun.
Oh, but in Ukaipa they call that crowd control. Well, that's okay.
All this stuff is just
county dump. Throw them in there. They'll dissolve.
Still happens to this day.
Yep.
And it's just different words they use to explain it. And we have to be aware of that. But we also have to be aware of that there's 1,000 good things that counter each one of these bad things that happens in San Bernardino, whether it's a bad experience you have, a murdered relative.
Right.
But don't forget that you just went to church on Sunday, or you had your good meeting with your family at a local establishment that you have nostalgia for, Lucy's or Rosa Maria's or Two Guys or Alfredo's, right?
Yeah.
Don't forget the good stuff. That's my whole key. Even if you are gonna be representing our city, and Al don't like you. I want you to realize that you still have this capability of representing San Bernardino in a positive way and not engaging the negativity.
Right. Turn off that neocortical part of your reptilian brain, and as Robert said, try and focus on that.
Just because you don't like something doesn't mean that you should go after them full bore.
Right,
maybe not even make fun of them. Maybe not even attack them in any way. Just leave a compliment.
I think one of the biggest things, and because I was involved in it for so many years, is that Cal State had the only environmental ed master's program on the whole West Coast. And Dr. Darlene Stoner almost single-handedly had the Environmental Expo. That went on for 26 years, where we would have, up to 15,000 kids overnight learning Native American crafts, competing with all kind of, different biology quizzes, and the city of San Bernardino destroyed that so they could build 3,000 homes in the back of Cal State. Shame on you, Morris. Shame on you.
All right, a little bit of Al Kelly history.
Yeah, well, they could restore it.
You don't give Al Kelly an open mic, man.
No, they could restore that, and Robert has thought of it. There is so much biology here, unique biology, this River City alluvial fan sage scrub. It's the most endangered habitat in the world. 28,000 acres left, and most of it is right here in part of the Zvelta, South Africa. And Robert's got all this stuff in the research he's been doing historically.
Thanks for acknowledging the mega art in your
the
little
mega
way.
arts. There's so much potential here still that could be integrated into what I heard the other day on KPFK. And one of the reasons you have people like Trump and everybody has been dumbed down is because we don't teach civics anymore. And the most profound thing about civics is what your relative relation, or what your relationship is to the past, and how does that influence here and now that'll affect the future. So again, Robert, I think
how do you
Juan and
teach
Sandra
civics?
do it.
So how do you teach civics in class, teachers? Well, you have to stand up and say, "Hey, this is necessary for me to." Oh, it's not in the curriculum. It's not. Well, then go to the teachers.
Right.
I mean, go to the principal and say, "Oh, it's not in the curriculum. How come civics is in the curriculum?" Well, if the principal says, "Well, it's not," then you go to the school board as a teacher. I'm not joking. Do the extra work.
And what
Get in
Robert
the
is
school board
saying,
and say, "Please, we need civics in our schools." And I can't imagine one school board member up there telling you, "Nah, we don't need civics
Robert,
in our
I got to
schools."
tell you, it's still very difficult. I refused to teach No Child Left Behind. And I had Mr. Honig. He was the head of the California Department of Education.
Civics doesn't have
Came
to
to
be
my room and said you had to do that. But
It could be just
Yes.
city government.
yeah.
It could be the three branches of our federal government.
I'll tell you what, I will give Redlands a lot of credit, and I'll give Loma Linda a lot of credit. You know, basically a lot of Loma Linda is based on the Seventh-day Adventist, for what it's worth, its recent history. But there is a part in Redlands and Loma Linda where you were, how you are. It's there. I don't see that in any place else. Rialto had it at one time with the north side of Rialto, so beautiful. Even Colton, north side, so beautiful. And, you know, come out of the woodwork.
And just to say, some would say that the reason Trump is in there is because of civics. Just so you understand that, right? Yeah.
Bottom line.
So we got to be aware that there's another team sometimes to the way you think, and that's the first information I try to learn is what the other team is talking about.
Yep.
And this is why, because you cannot make rational decisions if you don't have all the information.
Right, and ignorance is bliss.
Yes. And if you want to be in that bubble, which I feel sometimes a lot of people get in on every side.
Yeah. Both sides.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just because it feels more comfortable, you're not really learning anything.
That's right.
You're speaking to the choir.
Third party, 2020.
Do we have a caller on the line?
Whoa.
Right on. Right. Oh, you're getting ready. You're getting ready. All right. So I hope you didn't think I was a rambling fool there because it was a little
Robert's
bit
good, man. Beautiful.
not focused.
You put color in it, and that's what it needs because it is color.
Yeah. This is great history, and even though it's rough history, right?
Robert, if you can't get excited about, those times that are different than ours, so controlled. No, this is beautiful. And you do a good job, and I think you have a good following because you make it exciting.
Yeah,
It's not rote.
And before we get to the color, I wanna give a little love out to all my haters, and to all my competitive peoples out there that feel a competition with me or of some sort. And I want to say thank you because you force me to work harder,
right,
and do better. And without you, you couldn't be more complete.
Right.
If you just do what your friends say all the time, you're never really, testing your limits or your boundaries, right? And who knows? This is the best part. Sometimes you learn things from your haters.
Right. And don't forget what Robert's talking about. Right now, rectal suppositories with CBD are available too.
For all of you that and they're federally legal, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, no, they're not yet. You cannot.
Oh.
You have to have only ointment, right, on CBD.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're not allowed.
Wait
a second.
Finger swipe.
Is that?
You need a bidet.
If you stick a suppository in, is that ingesting?
Well, it depends what you're.
Yeah, well, yeah. I guess. I mean, call in if you know. I mean,
Merc, call in.
No,
tell us, Merc.
I know for a fact it is. It actually, I heard a story about a guy who passed away because his wife was giving him enemas of alcohol.
Oh man.
Yeah, and he died of alcohol poisoning. From that.
Man.
Yeah, and they tried to blame her for murder, and she was just trying to do what, like, you know. Really sad situation. Wow. What's up, dude? Bet you can never die from CBD, that's for sure.
That's right.
We got a caller on the line.
Hello?
Who's there? Vicky, what's up?
MVP speaks in the place to be.
Oh, shoot, how you been?
Man, I have been living my best life.
Whoa!
I see that everywhere online from you. You're a pretty much a star out there. Could you make sure and everyone knows what your name is online?
Yes, Vicky Porter online, VIKKIPORTER. My Facebook is MVP Speaks. I'm MVPspeaks.com. I have a website, a YouTube channel, Instagram. I have all that. Social media.
Yeah. Well, so check those out. Okay, so I'll let everybody know how we met in. I think you either sat behind me or in front of me in a class, right?
Yep.
Wow.
I'm sure one of the other.
Yeah, and then like our names were the same at Porter, right? So like it was kind of like you were my sister I never had.
Oh.
Yes, I feel the same way.
See, so like I always.
Go ahead.
No, it's your. This is for you.
I was gonna say. I said I always remember Robert Porter, and I remembered your long straight hair.
He was a hippie then.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
It was a skater cut.
But no, and then when we found each other on Facebook with the poetry group, that was super lit.
Yeah, so you had that. You had a group for a while called Midwest Poets.
Wow.
Yep, the Midwest Poets. That was even before I started performing poetry.
Wow.
Really, I was just writing it.
So, what I'd like to tell people about this is this group was one of the first groups on Facebook. They had just started, and I joined it, and you inspired me to write a few poems so I could put them on there, and then I got into graduate school, and in holistic education, poetry was required to write.
Oh, nice.
Amazing.
So I they would literally put us in the forest on James Reserve and send us in a direction and tell us to go write a poem, and it would be the most incredible experience, right?
Nice.
So this all led to you inspired me, kind of like led to my poetry studies, and I have a little poetry book that I put out, but I wanted to thank you for inspiring me so much.
Thank you I appreciate that.
Hey, Vicky.
I feel like that is a great part of what I do is just inspiring people. I feel like I'm a natural positive energy and inspiration, and anytime us artists can get together and vibe off each other and just grow and elevate, that shit is lit. So
my co-host Al wants to ask you a question.
Vicky, I don't know if you know Chris Thayer. He's he's a bluesman. He's probably the best bluesman that the Inland Empire's ever had. But he was a teacher at Yucaipa High School. He taught a poetry class. He caught so much hell for it that he left. And he and his wife, both teachers, Carrie Thayer, they went over to Arroyo High School, and he basically teaches that now, that and the arts.
So tell us about your persona online. You're like an inspirational figure, right?
Yes, I am a really self-appointed self-love expert.
And it really helps me to see those positive posts all the time, and you try to bring out the best in people, right?
Wow.
Yes, we have to focus on our best self, and we can go through this life and we can experience a lot of stuff, and we can hurt people and be hurt. But at the end of the day, if we focus on the love that we have for ourselves and for each other, like all that extra stuff is gonna fade away. So, I'm not sure where it is, but there's a village in Africa where when somebody does something wrong, they put them in the middle and they encircle them and they speak all the good things about that person, and to empower them, and not to shame for what we though. We all make mistakes. So, yeah, I just believe we got to focus on love, and we just got to believe in ourselves, and we have to speak what we want out of our life.
In fact, we should do that more often in San Bernardino. Yeah. I mean, we should have like positivity circles in our city council.
Yeah. Let's have a love fest.
Maybe at the beginning of every city council meeting, a council person could say one good thing about the other council person.
Just read a little bit of prose or poetry that
some positive.
Yes. Yeah. Wow. Hell yeah, and you know what else too? Because when you do that, you are able to raise your vibration. If you're able to attract those same things back to yourself. I believe the law of attraction is real, and I believe we have to acknowledge the fact that if we walk around feeling like the world is against us, the world's gonna be against us. But if we walk around feeling empowered, and we walk around feeling like this is ours, it's not somebody else's world. It's our world. We live here, like it's ours. So
this is our life.
How you walking?
Everything is created in your brain. Really?
Yep.
It's all created there. So, like, you can make sure you're positive and happy, or you could focus on negative, right? And
right, exactly.
Hey,
and you know, one more thing too. Just, I think it's crucial to remember that we have to be kind to ourselves, and we can't beat ourselves up about the past, because it's already over with. So what you gonna do? You gonna cry about the spilled milk, or clean it up, and go buy you some new milk? You know what I'm saying?
You sound like you and Michael Beckwith should be working together.
It's super. Now you just are you visiting in Vegas, or are you gonna live there for a while?
I'm gonna be here for a while.
Okay, why not?
Because I'm here, but
how come we can't get you back to San Bernardino? How come we can't get you?
Oh, you can. You can bring me back. Just send me a ticket. Send me a ticket, and have me somewhere to sleep and some good weed to smoke. And
hey, we got the Greyhound Express. It'll take you right to KCAA.
I think it's only 3 hours from here.
Yeah.
I don't know how far it is. So, I'm definitely down for the drive. As soon as I get a car, I will come down. It's not a problem. So, San Bernardino is a very, very amazing part of my life experience. And just to go back and show and see what y'all help manifest. You know?
Any good memories you can think of your time here in high school?
Man, Pacific High School was lit. I just know that when I was in high school, I was very much a floater. I didn't feel like I had one clique, but I just went around to everybody, and I feel like one of my most favorite memories, and it's so crazy, is when we had a cakewalk, and I won a chocolate cake that Kawana Thompson made.
Oh!
And on the first event I went here in Vegas, she was the first person I saw. And she saw me and recognized me. It was like, oh, it's Vicky Porter's MVP. And I was like, oh, what, Kawana? I said, I still remember your chocolate cake, girl.
That's good.
Yeah, so I had a lot of fun times. Class of '93, first graduating class. I mean, you can't ever be forgotten. Like, that's gonna be ever like a historical.
Yeah, I did forget that you were one grade ahead of me, huh?
Yeah, I was ahead of you. I don't remember what class we had together, but
it was was it like, I don't know, a DM, was it driver's training? I don't know. Who knows? It was some like elective on the side.
It's probably an elective.
Were you guys smoking weed in those days?
Well, everybody smoking weed. Yeah, everybody out here just lit. I just put my blunt out right
at Pacific High School. I think what we would do is we would light up the steam cleaner. Don't do this at home, kids.
Oh no!
We'd have the steam cleaner going over there, and like Mr. Clements with that big old mustache, he'd be off in the corner doing something, and we'd be we blaze right there, the steam cleaner, and blow it into the steam.
Oh my word!
Oh wow, that's crazy.
The first vaporizer.
I didn't do that. I didn't know what that did.
That's too much.
Oh. That was not. He said that was not me.
Was that?
I remember that.
Did you guys? Was Perlette? Was he vice principal? Steve Perlette.
I don't remember.
Oh, he's a little short guy. Black belt, karate.
Yeah.
Good guy.
I don't remember the principal. I think it was a woman.
Yeah. It's hard. My memory gets a little scrambled. Maybe all those days doing archaeology in the heat. I'm like,
Vicky, where did you go? What middle school did you go to?
I went to Curtis Middle School.
Oh.
I went to one of the middle schools that you had to I forget what it was called, but you had to go through the whole process to get in there. But I just remember I got kicked out.
Richardson.
Yeah, Richardson.
Yeah,
Prep High. Yeah, I went to Richardson for a minute, but then they kicked me out. And then, I think
I taught there for a couple of years. It was pretty rigorous. Yeah.
So Vicky, now that you got your little thing, what's your goal right now for you? To be happy?
Well, I'm happy right now. So
okay, yeah, you're always happy. But what goal could someone else look at and be like, Matt can make me happy too?
Yeah, for sure. No, and I just said I was happy now, and I said that intentionally because I think often we look to get to our goal in order to be happy, and that's not. We have to be happy where we at.
Be
so
here
I said
now.
that now, but this is what I feel. This is what I want for my life right now. I want to perform, and I want to perform poetry wherever I can. I actually am more interested in rapping and getting into the music because I believe that my message is so powerful.
I hate to put you on the spot. Do you have anything you might want to read off, or?
Oh, I could say a poem. It don't matter.
All right. Well, let's hear it. Let's hear it. All right.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna do the winning poem.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
All right, we're ready.
Okay. I see we winning, and I hope you got a smile on your face like me. Keep grinning. Chin, chin, chin up. Double up. Triple threat. I know me best. The rest is history. Either you blind or you see. Shit, it don't matter to me. You can get this shine. Get it right now. Front and center, no rewind. This is real time. Bitches got itches to scratch. MC, sneak dissing, in fact, I find it whack. But I understand the rap attack attracts the fact, so I fuck with that. It's all about getting paid, right? Top dollar shooting all night. Ain't no saving face. Be grateful. Bow your head. Say great. Y'all know I love serving up full plates for the feast. Remember, you choose what beast to feed. There's a beast in me. I don't feed him meat. I feed him love, and he receives, and now my beast is free. All I see is beauty in me. The beauty in my beast, such a special treat. Pull up the seat. Are you still standing in awe? It's good, love. Close up your jaw. Dub up that drool. This ain't college level. I'm speaking in preschool, trying to reach you like we having fun, counting by 1, 2. These ABC got me feeling free. Like I can create my own vocabulary. Who made this shit up anyway? Language so powerful, let's recreate. Always talking about back in the day while I sit awake. Imagine the imagery your image sees staring back at me as we allow our free to flow like these freestyle flows. Get in your free-fly zone. The world is your home. Mind-wise, we call third eyes to cry with joy. Your highest self-deploy. Ascension, master. You are a master of time, infinite and limitless. Are you getting this? Take a break. Roll up a spliff, a natural live that's always love, so never quit. Remember, you are worthy of it, and you are shit. So love yourself and never forget.
Woo! Yeah!
Nice.
Thank you. Now,
Beautiful.
Unfortunately, there will be 10 seconds cut out of that because you said the F word.
Oh, I didn't even.
I know, my bad.
But it still
The F word.
it still should come out pretty good there.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's
Thank
great.
you. Thank you.
But beautiful, and I want people to know that could anybody write a poem like that?
Yes,
Not
you know, you
exactly like that, but anybody could write one, right?
Got you. Yes, anybody can write. And let me tell you, it's really just about believing in yourself. Everything you do is about believing that you can do it and not beating yourself up through the process of getting it done. So if you want to write a poem, and people can email me, mvpspeaktwice@gmail.com.
Okay.
If they want to chop it up about writing poetry, if they just want some,
You guys want?
whatever.
Should I do a poem?
Oh, hell yeah, Robert, do a poem.
You guys want? You got to. All right. I have a poem.
All right, I'm listening.
You ready? The super stoner smoked on the water pipe. Down went the flame, the stone was out of sight. Up went the high and drowned out all the pain. And the super stoner smoked on the pipe again.
Hey!
You guys like it?
Super stoner. Yeah, I vibe with that most definitely.
Super stoner.
All right.
Most definitely.
Do you have a short one for us that's maybe not quite as long?
Yep. Let me just.
Okay.
spit a little out.
You look. You got it with you, or?
Yep.
Okay. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
I got so much stuff in my mind. You don't even know.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay. So I do this. This poem is called Fast Track.
Fast track.
I got a one-track mind with my eyes on the playing field. And I'm running cross country with my speaking skills. Hurdles won't stop me. My legs are strong since 93. Only thing black is me. But there's no trophy for medals needed to justify. You can't pacify or simplify my grind. I've been setting time. I'm finishing the race, man. It's not the place. I go at my own pace. Many want to be the best in the industry. I'm just focused on being the best me, so I can pass the baton to the next speed. Because you're bound to land on your feet eventually. It's all how you approach the line. Don't break. Cross your thoughts, cross your heart, and prepare to live. Survival of the fittest is what it is. You take numbers off your time, you just clutter your mind. Everything you need, woo, you have inside. Get out the way, never lie in your own flight phase. Be brave, fight for what's right. Anchor yourself in positivity. Watch the change take over your mind. Possible. You sleep. See with your eyes closed. Ready, set, go.
Yeah. And don't stop. Keep on going all the way till the end.
I lost y'all.
You lost me?
I lost y'all.
Yeah.
Hello.
I'm here now.
Oh, you're there now?
I'm here now.
Well, I want to.
So yeah, I'm right here on the Las Vegas Strip.
All right, Vicky. Well, I want you to know
Thank you.
that we can, if you need to come to San Bernardino, it might take some planning, but we could,
Yes.
we're gonna figure it out. Like you need to have the place to stay. I don't really have that or nothing like that, but like if we could figure that out for you, because you have abilities that San Bernardino needs, and if you,
I agree.
and if you could get,
You know what you can do. You know what y'all can do. In the meantime, is y'all can write to Ellen. I'm really trying to get Ellen's attention.
Okay.
Because I feel like she's a great resource, and I feel like if I get seen, then a lot of things can pop for a lot of people in all of our lives. So
I just
Ellen.
I wanted to make sure you were seen because and let you know that you're seen online, and a lot of those posts that you do make a difference in my life. And when I wake up in the morning and I see you being positive, it makes me want to be positive.
That's what's up. I appreciate that.
All right, we love you very
Thank
much,
you
Vicky.
very
all right,
much.
all right.
All right, I love
Take
y'all
care.
too. I
San
love y'all
Bernardino
too,
misses
peace.
you. Okay.
That's right. I miss y'all too. I'll see y'all soon. Don't trip.
All right, catch you
Adios.
later. Great, that was great. That was so cool.
a neat lady.
I wanted to. That was a last second interview. I wanted to thank her for. She's got a busy schedule, and she just bam made sure she was on there. And if you couldn't hear all the poetry there, what the main thing you should take away from is that she's very positive, and poetry has, in writing down those words, has a power of its own, right? And it sometimes you can get a little negative in your writing, but what it does is it takes away the bad feelings, right? So you're getting it out on paper.
Right.
But always don't just
Cathartic.
write negative.
Very cathartic.
Make sure you always write some positive too, because it does the same thing to the body, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So if I write a real negative poem and it makes me cry, the next poem I write, I try to make it a positive.
Balance those cortisol levels. Yep.
All right. Thank you so much for calling in, Vicky. We got 5 minutes left here on the clock.
Oh, do you have another phone call? I thought.
No. Do we have another phone call? Or no.
Oh.
No. We're cool. All right.
Something's ringing in my head.
So I'll talk a little bit about the last meeting and the dog shelter. It looks like that probably next meeting, the Riverside County will probably accept the proposal.
Right.
The city attorney said that unless a vote is brought up the next day, in the next meeting, you cannot have a revote. You can't do a revote unless you bring it up the next meeting. Right? So for me, Fred Charette, the guy who wanted to change his vote, he's the longest serving councilman on that whole, he's the longest serving person in that whole area. You're telling me he doesn't know that? So he says, I'm going to change my vote, but he can't change his vote. So it's just lip service, right? Trying to make himself look a little better in a situation where he looks super bad, right? So don't forget this, that the longest serving politician on that whole thing didn't know the rules.
Come on, Fred.
Yeah.
Flintstone.
Yeah, that seems like most of the things that I know in city government are because I was there and I watched them do it. I watched them go through the political process, and I watched them go through the voting process, right? So when you're sitting there watching them, you see their facial expressions, their nonverbals, and people speak with those. Like I tell people all the time, I can tell how people are going to vote by taking 2 pictures before they vote and picture after they vote, right? If you look at the picture before, they're usually not smiling or whatever. You can tell by their smiles and their frowns how they're going to vote.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing. So 3 minutes left? I don't, man, you gotta be careful with that because you gave me a brain fart now, dude. So you like my engineer's waving me out.
Okay, you were just talking.
Are you allowed to say brain fart on the radio?
But you were talking about Fred Charette changing his vote.
Oh yeah. So like basically, if you don't know that changing you've never. To me, it seems like almost impossible that he's never changed his vote or wanted to change his vote before. So something's fishy about that. I just don't trust him. But whoever, we need to get together and figure out this dog shelter issue. If we have a year to do it or 6 months to do it or whatever it is, we need to find the building, find the money to restore it, get a grant, whatever we got to do, have a 20,000 fundraisers to fill it up. I've heard great ideas from at Taco Night. The guy from Funnel Cake Fridays was saying they should have games there, that all the donations from the money would go to the shelter. There could be a lot of these different ideas put in place, and we could save this shelter and build a new one, or at least have volunteers and not-for-profits running, right. And maybe just have one city employee there to all the, but make sure that city employee is a dog lover.
Robert, I tell you, Lynn, who was on the show with us, and the Friends of Rialto, we raised $67,000 to fight the Ferris brothers and the corrupt
so it's possible to make money, right?
In a real corrupt city, Deborah, you got that, of Rialto. And we're coming back, and we're going to take lawsuits against the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. You're going down.
This is Robert Porter, and Al Kelly. Carmel Rowe will be on the next show. It will be Eddie Funksta, and he will come on here to talk about some psilocybin mushrooms and hallucinogenic cactuses. This is the I Love San Bernardino County radio show, and we are Al Kelly. Out of here.
Thank you, RP.
I'm a man who loves the blues. Day or night, I'm letting the blues. Love the music, deep down soul.